Have you ever read a post online and you're like, that's exactly how I feel? And then you go through the comment section and then you read someone make a comment that you never really considered before. And then 5 minutes later, you're like, this person kind of has a point. And before you know it, you are changing your initial position. If you can relate to this, come closer. You have to talk. Hey guys, welcome to JoJo's Corner, and I'm your host, Jojo Lola. If you are a returning viewer, I'm super excited to have you, and if you are new here, I'm glad you tuned in. So in this video, we're going to talk about what it means to stay objective in a world where everyone seems to be convinced that they're actually right. The more I spend time on the internet, the more I ask myself questions like, what am I really convinced about? Is it okay to change my mind on a particular matter when I'm presented with new information? Also, am I accepting this position because I like the person says, or because what the person is saying is the truth? To be sincere, these aren't questions that are completely answered yet. But rather than being focused on trying to have the perfect opinion on every matter, I've realized that it's better to be focused on learning how to judge or analyze things correctly. Do you get? Rather than giving you guys a formula, I'll be sharing a few principles that I'm learning to practice when I'm listening to people, reading information, or having difficult conversations. So the first one is listen to information first with patience to understand. So the internet has made it easy for us to be very reactive to information. So for example, you see a click online or you see a tweet and the first thing you want to do is to react to what you are seeing or what you are hearing. But rather than you do that, isn't it better to first understand what the person is trying to communicate? So for example, if it's a video, why not try to understand the full context of the information? And if it's a tweet, why not try to understand what the person is trying to communicate before you jump to disagree? Now, it doesn't mean that you might not even disagree with what you are hearing or what you are saying. Of course, you might, but it's better to understand what the person is saying and then you are disagreeing than disagreeing to what you thought the person was saying and the person wasn't actually saying. The second, be honest enough to acknowledge your biases. We all have biases, and that is the truth. The problem starts when we fail to acknowledge the fact that we have biases. And usually these biases are influenced by your environment, your culture, maybe your country, and you can say your relationships. And it's totally fine. But then the issue happens when you do acknowledge them in conversations. Now, I hear this happen a lot. And an example that readily comes to mind right now is with football fans. Please don't come for me. But when I see guys, football fans, argue a lot, one thing I can pick from their conversation is that they all have their biases, whether it's to a football club, whether it's to a footballer. Let me say, first off, it's interesting to see them, go for each other, have this argument, have this banter. It's very, very entertaining. But sometimes I'm like, would you guys just try and acknowledge your biases in these conversations? Because it makes it much more easy. So I believe we all have our biases, and when we are honest enough to acknowledge them, it makes our conversations easier. The third, then to separate the message from the messenger or the person from their idea. Now, this is very tricky, I must admit, because for many of us, it's easy for us to accept information from somebody we already respect or someone we already like, right? And I must admit that I'm guilty of this offense as well. There are times where you see someone make a weak argument, but because you like the person, you are quick to just give them a free pass, and then you don't really criticize or get critical with what they are saying. But on the flip side, when you hear someone that you do not like speak, in fact, your first disposition is already to not even accept what they are saying. So anything they are trying to say, you're already being critical about it. Well, I believe that the right approach really is to analyze every idea individually, irrespective of who is saying it. I'm trying to say that we should not hold people accountable, to their actions, to their values, to their beliefs. But I believe that without prejudice to that, it's possible to still separate what someone is saying as an idea as either true or false, without necessarily projecting or accepting it because of them as a person. The fourth, anchor your position in facts and logic, not emotions. And this is a bit tricky because as human beings, we are all emotional beings, right? Emotions are very peaceful, right? Because they help you empathize with people, they help you stay passionate about causes you care about. Apart from that, they help you to kind of judge things that you are probably okay with and things that you're not okay with. Emotions alone are not enough for us to come to a wholesome conclusion. Take statements like, I support women's rights and wrongs, the customer is always right, this creator can never do anything wrong in my eyes. And people say those things sometimes jokingly, but they reveal something that I find very, very interesting. My point is, shine your eyes and judge every situation for the facts objectively, and they can now come to a conclusion. Finally, be open to allowing your position go through the test of criticism. It is easy to think that a strong opinion is one that has never been challenged before, but I think that a strong opinion is one that has actually somewhat been challenged. If you are respectfully asked a question about a position that you hold and feel attacked, I believe that your position wasn't probably strong to begin with. And of course, it's possible that maybe you ask a question and then you don't have the information to defend whatever it is that you are saying. If that is the case, I believe the question you are being asked should prompt you to make your research and then arm yourself with the facts to support whatever it is that you are believing in, rather be hostile to the person asking the questions. That said, here are the facts you are made to ask context with. It's okay to not have an opinion on everything. Start from your place of ignorance, build the information, and then learn. When you make a mistake, it's okay to say, I was wrong. I didn't think about the topic. I basically give things that go internal to be false. Please don't be too hard on yourself when that happens. Being closed-minded to conversations make it difficult for you to get through to people. Of course, you don't have to agree with their position, but hearing them out means that at least you respect their opinion, and it's easy for them to also hear you out. Some people are reasonably set in their ways, and there is nothing you can do to help them. Just leave them alone. You have coconut tension. And also, the internet rewards confidence more than truth. So that's it, guys. We've come to the end of today's episode of Judge's Corner. If you liked what you listened to in today's episode, please like this video. Please subscribe. And you can please share to your friends so they can also watch. And also, if you disagree with anything I said in this video, please let me know in comments. But please do so respectfully. And even if you disagree, still like and subscribe to this channel. I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Bye. To be sincere, these are any questions. It's better to be focused on learning how to judge or analyze things. Hey, what did I say? Analyze. I didn't think you said that, but Jesus Christ, no, whatever things you do.